shiny. Fantastic. And I thought, why not jump onto this idea? Now listen to this and let's just start building.
You could say that everyone can do it and not just
about 100 mil. Now, if you look at that, that's more or less like a slab in itself.
I was chilling with the bros who was up for a night out. Yeah. So you in the cut with that wifey demeanor. Hey. Looking so bored out your mind though. You kinda give me the sign. So conversations became relation. No escaping, heart is taken. I've been waiting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. And hey, if we haven't met, my name is Kelvin Perry and this is The Awakening. Right, on this channel, I've been carrying out a series entitled How to Build in Zambia While Living in the Diaspora. Well, it's very exciting series. I must say, I'm having a wonderful time. But before I get onto this, let me wish you a happy new year, and I hope you've had a wonderful rest, wonderful time celebrating with your families, wherever you are and wherever you may be. But we are back this year, and we thank God for giving us this opportunity to be alive in this year. So, right, let's get back to what we do, and let's see what we can do on this series this year. Obviously, I did mention a number of things that we are going to do, and we'll keep on going on and make sure that we do those things. And if you need any help, just make sure that you get in touch with me. I'm just trying to work my other laptop there. This is my office. Right, so last year I did promise you that I will share what my perception, what my view was of Zambia when I last went to Zambia in October this last year. It's already last year, and what I think about Zambia. So right now, just to give you the context of or the lens from which I'm looking at Zambia from. Now, I was last in Zambia in 2020, just in March. I went there for a week and I was back in March. COVID was announced, the lockdown was announced, and from 2020, this was the first time I traveled to Zambia. So obviously 3 years apart. 3 years that is going to Zambia. So when I say going to Zambia, it's actually the Copper Belt. Now, on this trip that I went to Zambia, I actually visited the Copper Belt, Kitwe, Ndola, Chingola, Solwezi, and traveled to Lusaka. So I was able to see quite a lot. So let me now start my story when I arrived. So I arrived in Kitwe, also in Ndola, at Ndola International Airport, which is Simon Mwewa Kapwepwe International Airport. Again, that was the first time landing at that brand new airport. I was indeed impressed and really just filled my heart with joy to see that we have international standard infrastructure like that. And, beautiful, a way to welcome people from wherever they are, investors and all that. When they land, they will be able to see these infrastructure buildings. And I think it just does change how people look at Zambia. And so from the airport, I was picked up from the airport by the Mbaos, and both Mr. and Mrs. Mbao with my daughter. This time around, we traveled to Zambia with my daughter, second-born daughter. And it was just wonderful to have that wonderful time with our daughter. And I've always said about, when you're trying to leave a legacy to your children, make sure that they understand what you're doing. So it was wonderful for me to take her around and show her everything that I've been talking about. So we arrived in Kitwe and straight away went to the farm on the outskirts of Kalulushi. This is a beautiful farm that I've actually showed you some of the drone shots of this beautiful farm. So we spent that was our base for the 2 weeks that we were there. And Obviously, immediately after that, I had to go to the farm. Again, this was the first time I was seeing that piece of land again that I've showed you drone shots. So it's amazing to see, just to have to be on the ground and just keep, shut down, and just, and the quietness and the peace that you get when you are at the farm. So I was so impressed to be there. I was so happy to be there. But the plan after the farm, the plan was obviously for me to go to visit other farms. Now, because of time, I was only able to visit the chicken farm, but I had lined up meetings to go and see communities that are putting together, that are looking after cattle, that are looking after, that are involved in dairy farm, goat keeping, so that I can learn how they're doing these things and get motivated, get inspired. The purpose of actually traveling to Zambia is to get inspired. I don't want to just be a person that will be talking about back home or doing something and it ends there. I want to be part of what is going on back home. So we were in Zambia, we were in Kitwe, and after a week we had to travel to Lusaka again. To Lusaka, the purpose of going to Lusaka was obviously to see what has happened to Lusaka. And I've said to you, I was last in Lusaka, not being on Cairo Road. I mean, when we lived in Botswana, obviously, I would just travel straight past, through the central CBD, through Cairo Road, and I was on the other side to the Copper Belt. I always went to the Copper Belt because that's where family is. So never really just went anywhere in Lusaka. Now, we lived in Lusaka for a few years, and that was in 2001. I left Lusaka and never came back to Lusaka. So really, it was quite an amazing experience to see what has happened of Lusaka. So we arrived in Lusaka. I was able to see the new international airport. That was amazing. That was brilliant. I loved that. And then went to, now just to give you, so coming from the airport, there's this big roundabout. Now in 2001, the company I was working for, we were looking at tendering, part of the feasibility studies to try and expand that, the Great East Road. And I remember going there and saying to myself, where are they going to get land? I mean, there's a filling station there. Are they going to demolish it? And to see the work done, I was so amazed. And when we were in Lusaka those days, when we lived in Lusaka, the only mall that was there was Manda Hill. And it was just amazing to see all these new buildings, the roads, and it was just amazing. I really, really enjoyed Lusaka. So, but when we lived in Lusaka, we lived in two places. We lived in Makeni Konga at Mr. Grey Zulu's farm, but we were there for only 3 weeks and moved to Ibex Hill, Zamtel Flats. That's where we were renting. Now, Lake Road was just a tiny, small little road. I was so amazed to see that it's been expanded. It's a double lane, and I'm just like, wow. In 20 plus years, all this, I was really, really, happy and then just amazing. I went to all these malls. We went to Mpotoyatu, had Nshima there. Oh my God, it was so wonderful. But I was in Lusaka only for, so got there on Sunday or Saturday evening. We had to leave on Monday evening by Zambian Airways. Brilliant service, brilliant to see that we now have our national colors in the sky. So that was brilliant. So back on the Copper Belt, the next trip that I had to do was go to Chingola and then Solwezi. Now, again, I was in Solwezi in 1997. Again, the purpose of that trip, the reason why I went to Solwezi, the company I used to work for, we were tendering for building schools in rural areas. So one of the schools was a Chief Kabijimpanga. So I went to Chief Kabijimpanga's area, and I even saw the palace and went to where the school was supposed to be built. met the headmaster, and then came back to Solwezi. Now, I was thinking the school is very far from the town, but it wasn't. So came back early. So I went on to so came back into town, and I thought, what am I going to do? I ended up going to Solwezi, to Mwinilunga. Those days the road was good. Went to Mwinilunga to see a friend of mine, Rogers Kauseni. He's in Australia now. Came back. Now the trip was for us to go up to Zambezi. There's a school in Mufumbwe. There's another little town, and then we had to see the school there, and we went all the way to Zambezi. So I did that, but that was in 1997. So 1997, 2023, I went to Solwezi. I was so amazed. I would love to live in Solwezi. So if you are in Solwezi and you've got a piece of land, get in touch. I would love to live in Solwezi. I loved it. I really loved it. It reminded me of Francistown, those days when we lived in Francistown, a busy, busy, busy town. And I was so impressed. Obviously, nothing compared to what it was when I last visited. It's just amazing. I was so impressed. The road leading to Solwezi is a tarred road, a beautiful road, and we went to and obviously passing through Chingola, always beautiful. They've got a mall as well, and the road network, because obviously it's a dual carriageway from Kitwe to Chingola. It's amazing. I think one of the things that really impressed me on the way from Chingola is if you've been on that road, Sabina, just at Sabina, that's a turn off going to Mufurila. The industries that are there, oh my God, that used to be a mine farm those days on both sides, or is it on this side on your left if you're going to Chingola? That used to be a mine farm, and I remember going to that farm there. But that whole area is industry. There's a new shaft for the mines, and oh my God. And I was just like, wow. I would never have imagined that, never have seen that. But, it's how many years? Possibly, that's about 20 something years to be on that road and be on that dual carriageway. I was just like, oh my God, there's so much going on here. Now, the last day of my trip, I had to go. I was invited to a men's breakfast at Bread of Life, Kitwe, and the speaker was Engineer Chiwala. And oh my God, he was sharing about his journey into avocado growing and the products that they're making from this. Oh my God, I was so blessed. I think that was like the icing on my trip. I learned quite a lot. And to see all those opportunities that are there, what people are doing. But, it just reminds me, and I said this on one of the small short videos where I said in Zambia there are two groups. There's obviously the groups, that one of the group is the people that are actually struggling. These people are really, really struggling, and things are hard for them. And of course, there's the other group. These people have managed to break through from from poverty into this group which is thriving, which is really picking up all the opportunities that are there. But when you speak to this group, which I'll call Group B, these guys are so upbeat, these guys are so positive, these guys are seeing so many opportunities. When you speak to Group A, these people are really, really struggling, and it is really, really hard for them. But if you are in the diaspora, you have to look at who are you listening to, who are you talking to, because you have to find people that are talking the same language as you, and obviously gauge and assess. And this is what we are trying to do on this channel, is to share information so that you can be able to invest with confidence. You are not alone. When you think about reconnecting with your homeland, you're not alone. There's lots of us who are thinking about that, doing that. But get in touch, subscribe to this channel, get in touch with me. Let's keep on talking. Let's keep on encouraging one another, because that's what we are talking about doing. And I hope my perception of Zambia. And so when you ask me what do I think of Zambia, I would think of Zambia is things are happening. Vichitika. It just depends on who you are talking to. Yes, people will tell you, oh, this and that. You know, those things do happen everywhere, but you have to make sure that you just find your way around and make sure that you succeed in what you're doing. The opportunities are there. Remember to invest back home. I am so confident in Zambia, and I will be making another trip this year, God willing, to see what I can do. Of course, go and plant some more trees at the farm, because that's what I will be doing in the next few years. So if you've enjoyed my video, please remember to hit that like button and smack that bell. And hey, don't forget to encourage me. Put a question, whatever question you have. If you want to discuss something, get in touch with me. Put a comment in the comment section and I will indeed respond to you. I'll see you in the next video, and God bless you and Happy New Year.
To know that you okay, with everything I gave up for you, did it for love, no escaping, heart is taken. I've been waiting, I've been patient. Thought you'd been down, heard you skip down, and can't be found. Where are you now, baby? Deep down, I know you've been missing me, but you can't. Last time I said the sun won't shine till we meet again. Been waiting all these